fickle industry. On the one hand, they go all out on a story, and then on the other hand, it's old news and the editorial agenda has shifted somewhat. It really is like blowing hot and cold. Today, I want to talk about Trayvon Martin. Of course, you really didn't think I'd keep on this one, did you? Oh no. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of the issue surrounding the whole Zimmerman case, I've got to say, as a member of the media, I'm appalled and ashamed at the way the entire case and its reporting has been handled by some media outlets. I mean, it's nothing short of stirring up a hornet's nest. Look, the media have a responsibility, and I know from first-hand knowledge how devious, underhanded and shameless some media organizations can be on certain stories. I'll get to that in just a moment. But I wanted to point out that I think it's completely and utterly wrong to polarize the Zimmerman case as black against white. Ironically, it isn't as clear-cut as black and white. I accept the fact that many are incensed by the verdict and the fallout. But whether we like it or not, we have to accept the rule of law and justice having been served. It's not to say I'm taking sides, but instead want to look above the parapet and ask the more important questions. Once again, I'll come to that in just a moment. At the end of the day, the media have a huge responsibility to be objective, except, of course, if you're Fox News, in which case you can be as bold, brazen, outspoken, outrageous, and downright right-wing without any regard whatsoever to your profession. Anyway, as I was saying, the media have a responsibility to be objective, clear, accurate, concise, impartial, seen to be reporting the news, and not, as tempting as it is, embellishing the facts or events. However, the whole Zimmerman case has been anything but impartial, concise, or objective. Is it any wonder people have been angered by the verdict and taken to demonstrating and rioting on the streets? The media at large is a tricky, or rather is in a tricky conundrum, because the media is a business owned by individuals or shareholders, and as such has to show a return on their investment, or the bottom line needs to be healthy, or the big fat margin between profit and loss. And for the purpose of this discussion, that's achieved through advertising and sales. In layman's terms, getting as many eyeballs as you can is key. Look, news shouldn't be about ratings war by fudging the issue or creating something that simply doesn't exist. It's about reporting those facts and letting the viewing public decide for themselves. Yes, I blame the media wholeheartedly for stirring up passions and fervor on race issues. This isn't and shouldn't be about race, although it's been polarized as such. It's easy to use that as a hook and say yet another case where predictably the white man walks away free. Once again, plenty of commentators and opinionated individuals with radical viewpoints have been given airtime to view their views on television. And if the press can't conduct themselves properly, then we aren't doing our jobs properly. I'm sure many TV and newspaper editors will be rubbing their hands with glee over the non-stop and constant coverage of the Zimmerman case. The point here is once one news editor gets his teeth into a story, the others follow suit. Not because they care about the outcome, the bigger picture, racism. They don't care about the verdict or whether Trayvon Martin was a good or bad kid or whether his GPA was 4.0. No one cares. They didn't care George Zimmerman was a good guy in the community, or that he helped little old ladies cross the street, or that he actually attended the local evangelical church and so they couldn't be racist. The media just don't care. And that's the point. Why can't I watch the news without getting a biased or one-sided view? What's wrong with presenting both sides of the argument? That aside, why not give those working towards eradicating racism airtime? Why? Well, because it's boring and the same old faces preaching the same old mantra with the same old sound bites. I've sat in many morning editorial meetings to see how the news agenda is decided. It's all on the whim of one individual who plays God. In this case, the news director or managing editor. Sure, events also control headlines and the issues of the day, but it's one man or a small group of individuals who effectively tell us what they think we want to hear. And the evidence of that? Well, just how are the ratings, or how many newspapers have we sold on the back of that one news item? So where do we go from here? Has the Zimmerman case done anything to resolve or highlight the race issue here in America? Has it opened up old wounds on the whole topic of blacks involved in violence or gun-related cases? Does this mean every time someone walks past you wearing a hoodie, the probability of you being mugged or beaten up is quite high, or higher if they're black? Just some of the questions being asked, I'm sure. Look, let's just get real about this. No matter whatever we do, race is always going to be an issue in this country. So what if the most powerful man in the world is black? Clearly it hasn't changed people's perception of blacks or African Americans in our society, and that's just it. It hasn't. Why are we asking the same questions over and over and over again? Why, for example, hasn't having a prominent public figure like Oprah Winfrey helped race relations You know what I mean? She comes into our homes almost on a daily basis, and surely by now is a palatable figure, and guess what? She's black. And why hasn't having some of the most gifted and talented people in the country at the forefront of entertainment helped to neutralize the race issue? Of course, racism isn't just endemic to this country, but widespread in many societies. Unfortunately, you're never going to eradicate racism because people are and always will remain ignorant. Many take the view that there is so much more to do here in America than anywhere else in the world. Some will also take the view that certain practices and traditions have been this way since the birth of this nation, so why change it now? The fundamental problem is that people are scared of what they don't understand. Many prefer to live in their white picket fence communities and hope the black family moving in down the road is educated or rich or both, and that their relatives won't move in a little later on. Despite the education, integration, prominent people in our society coming from backgrounds which isn't Caucasian, growth of African American culture, and of course the most powerful man in the world being colored, has done little or nothing to change people's perception of the blacks in our society or community. The Zimmerman case shouldn't be about race, as I keep banging on about. In fact, it shouldn't have been covered at all. It should have been just another case, but because of Trayvon Martin, it became an issue. I don't want to get emails from people questioning whether or not I give a damn about race relations in this country. Look at the color of my skin, of course I do. But rather than approaching this from an emotional angle, and with all due respect to Trayvon and his family, I want to rather utilize my energy correcting the wrongs in our society and firing at salvage organizations and entities like the media for doing a disservice and highlighting the shortcomings of the whole race debate in America. We forget just how powerful the media is. We allow ourselves to be manipulated and cajoled by the press. It's a viewpoint and not the correct or overriding one, and neither should it be the dominant view. Sure, it should inform, educate, increase your knowledge, and so much more, but never allow yourself to become a statistic. Next time you see the media polarizing the debate as black against white, take yourself out of the equation and be better informed. As always, I'd very much like to hear from you. What do you think about the whole Trayvon Martin case and the issues surrounding race, or in fact the role of the media? Or if there's anything you'd like us to cover in the program that concerns you or other young Americans, then I'd very much like to hear from you. You can email me at spotlightamericatv@gmail.com or log on to our website, that's spotlightamericatv.com, to post your own comments about this and other issues. But until next time, from me, Akhtar Khan, and the rest of the team here, goodbye, and thanks for watching.